Hello children, I hope you are making the best use of the medium while you are at home. Before we get into today's class, I want you all to listen to the following message.
Once there was a king who offered a prize to the artist who would paint the best picture of peace. Many artists tried. 2 paintings made it to the final round, and the king had to choose between them. One picture was of a calm lake. The lake was a perfect mirror for peaceful towering mountains all around it. Overhead was a blue sky with fluffy white clouds. All who saw this picture thought that it was a perfect picture of peace. The other picture had mountains too, but these were rugged and bare. Above was an angry sky from which rain fell and in which lightning played. Down the side of the mountain tumbled a foaming waterfall. This did not look peaceful at all, but the king noticed something behind the waterfall. In a tiny crack in the rock, a bird had built her nest. There in the midst of the rushing angry waters sat the mother bird on her nest, sweetly singing with her young ones. The king chose the second picture because, explained the king, peace does not mean to be in a place where there is no noise, trouble, pain or hardship. Peace means to be in the midst of all those things and still be calm in your heart. That is real peace.
Alright, children, today's lesson is not new to us. We are going to revise Unit 1, Lithosphere from Geography. We will now get into the lesson. I'm sure that you all have seen the picture of the planet Earth. Although it looks like one large structure, it has many different features. Our planet is made of 4 different parts that all work together to make Earth a lovely place. We call these parts spheres. They are called spheres because they are round just like the Earth. The 4 spheres are the lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, and biosphere. Let's see how the 4 spheres of the Earth work. First one is the lithosphere. Earth's land makes up the lithosphere. Lithosphere is the portion of the Earth that includes rocks and minerals. Volcanoes, mountain ranges, and deserts are all part of the lithosphere. Children, remember that without a lithosphere, there would be no Earth. The next one is hydrosphere. What does hydro means? Hydro means, you all know it is water. And hydrosphere includes the oceans, rivers, lakes, groundwater, and glaciers. We know very well that without water, life would be impossible. The next sphere is atmosphere. Atmos means air. The atmosphere includes all the gases surrounding the Earth. Alright, what is atmosphere composed of? Yes, the atmosphere is composed of oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and some other gases in small amounts. Now, next we look into biosphere. Bio means life. The biosphere is made up of all the living things on Earth, and it includes fish, birds, plants, and even people. This living portion of the Earth interacts with all the other spheres. Well, this lesson focuses on the internal processes or the endogenetic processes, which means the processes that shapes the land by forces coming from within the earth. This unit is about lithosphere. Lithosphere starts at the ground and extends all the way down to Earth's core. Let's learn something about the structure of the Earth now. The structure of the Earth consists of crust, mantle, and core. First, let's look into the outermost layer of the Earth called crust, the place where we live. Do you know something important about this crust, children? Crust is the land on which we walk. The thickness of the crust is greater below the continents than the oceans. The crust is classified as continental crust and oceanic crust. And the continental crust is made of Cl. The major elements of continental crust Cl are silica and aluminium. Oceanic crust is made up of a sema. The major elements of oceanic crust sema are silica and magnesium. The next layer is mantle. The interior part beneath the crust is called mantle. The thickness of mantle is 2,900 kilometers. The major elements of the mantle are silica and magnesium and is termed as sema. The upper part of the mantle remains solid, whereas the lower part are in molten form. This molten rock inside the earth is called magma. And the other interior layer, the innermost layer, is called core. It is the hottest layer of the earth which lies below the mantle in the core. The major elements of core are nickel and iron. Hence it is called Nif. As we saw earlier, crust is the outermost layer of the earth. What do we find on this crust? We find rocks and minerals on the crust. The crust is a storehouse of rocks. Rocks are usually classified based on their formation. The three different types of rocks are igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. Let's understand each one of them now. Igneous rocks are formed from magma, which is a molten material found deep inside the earth. This molten magma comes upwards from a volcano in the form of lava. When the lava cools, it leads to the formation of igneous rocks. These rocks, also called primary rocks or mother rocks, because all the other rocks are formed directly or indirectly from igneous rocks. The next one is sedimentary rocks. Let's see how are these sedimentary rocks formed. Rivers, glaciers, and winds carry bits of rocks and soil and deposit them in layers. After a few million years, these deposits harden into compact rocks and are called sedimentary rocks. Children, now I am going to tell you why are sedimentary rocks important. The bodies of plants and animals that fall on the deposits gets embedded. Embedded means it gets fixed in the layers and form fossils. These fossils contain important information about the history of the earth. Some of the examples of sedimentary rocks are sandstone, limestone, chalk, and coal. The third type of rock is metamorphic rocks. And let me tell you how these rocks are formed. Metamorphic rocks are formed when igneous or sedimentary rocks are subjected to extreme heat and pressure. Next, we are going to study about the geomorphic process. The geomorphic process gives us reasons about the formation of the Earth's surface. Children, is the surface of the Earth even? No, it is not. Some places will have highlands and some places will have lowlands. Some places will be rough and some will be smooth. This is because of two processes. One is endogenetic or internal process and the other one is exogenetic or external process. The forces that act on the surface of the Earth due to natural agents like glaciers, wind, waves, etc. are called exogenetic or external process. But in this lesson, we are going to focus on endogenetic or internal process. So let's see what it is all about. The forces that act from the Earth's interior towards the Earth's surface are called internal or endogenetic processes. These forces built the landscape. The internal processes generate heat and eject materials from the deep below the Earth's crust. Okay, children, any disaster comes to your mind when we talk about materials ejected from deep below the Earth? Yes, it is tsunami, earthquake, and volcanic eruption. Next, we are going to see about the plate tectonics. The lithosphere is divided into a number of huge slabs of rocks called tectonic plates. These plates float independently over the mantle. When these plates, that is tectonic plates, collide with each other, they produce mountain ranges. This phenomenon is called plate tectonics. Plate boundaries are found at the edge of the lithospheric plates. The three types of plate boundaries are convergent boundary, divergent boundary, and transform boundary. Let me explain this. In convergent boundary, the tectonic plates move towards each other and sometimes a plate sinks under another. Example for convergent boundary is fold mountains found in Himalayas. Next, divergent boundary. Here, the tectonic plates pull away from each other. This happens because when magma pushes upwards. Example for this is mid-Atlantic ridges. The third boundary is the transform boundary. Here the plates slides horizontally past each other. Example, St. Andreas Fault. Now let's study about earthquake. What is an earthquake? Any sudden shaking of the ground caused by the passage of seismic waves through Earth's rocks. Where do earthquakes begin? The location below the Earth's surface where the earthquakes start is called the focus or hypocenter. This is the point of origin of an earthquake. The impact of the earthquake is felt the most at the epicenter. What is this epicenter? It is a point on the Earth's surface that lies directly above the focus. Earthquakes generate seismic waves. The three types of seismic waves are primary or P waves, secondary or S waves, surface or L waves. Primary or P waves are the fastest of the earthquake waves. Secondary or S waves travel through solids. Surface waves or L waves travel primarily along the ground surface. Okay. The other natural disaster is a tsunami. What comes to your mind when we talk about tsunami? Yes, it is a 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake that caused tsunami. It is supposed to be the sixth deadliest natural disaster. Nearly 280,000 people lost their lives. As we all know, tsunami is giant waves and a series of waves caused by earthquake or volcanic eruption under the sea. Let's learn about another natural disaster, volcanoes. What is a volcano? A volcano is an opening in the Earth's crust through which lava, volcanic ash and gases escape. The major components of volcanoes are magma chamber, vents, volcanic cone and crater. And volcanoes are classified into active volcano, dormant and extinct volcano. Active volcanoes constantly eject volcanic lava, gases and fragmented material, and the best example of active volcanoes is Mount St. Helens. Dormant or otherwise called sleeping volcano do not show any sign of volcanic activity for a long period of time. But sometimes there may be a sudden explosion which may cause a huge loss. Example is Mount Fuji in Japan. Extinct or dead volcanoes. Here the volcano permanently stops its volcanic activity. Okay children, now we have come to the end of the lesson. I hope you all understood the lesson well, and for better understanding I want you all to go through pages 157 to 164 from your social textbook before taking up the test. I also want to remind you about the exam which will be held from 7th to 17th of September. Prepare well for your exams, children. Goodbye.